Peace, kings. Peace, queens. It's your boy, B.O.L.O, back in the house again. Bringing other legends over. Striking like a cobra. One strike is over. Yeah, I'm about to go into the gym, but beforehand, let me react today to a hip-hop artist named The Baby. Some of you know who he is. I'm not really that familiar with his music. I'm just going to react to a situation that's all over the internet. He called the police on his baby's mama for you know, her getting aggressive or what have you. I don't know the situation, and I'm not really picking sides. He called the police and kicked his baby mother out of the house. And, you know, a lot of people are upset about that. You know, a lot of people are mad. And I guess the only way I can react to that is to say, what is he supposed to do? If you're in a domestic violence situation and you got one person who's a female acting irate and being disrespectful, what is he supposed to do? Not call the police? Choke her, slam her, DDT her, leg drop her? Like, what is he supposed to do? What's the answer for that? Sit there and be emotionally and verbally abused? Is that what he's supposed to do? Because I'm going to tell you right now, in this climate that we living in, people think that is cute and that men don't have feelings. But psychologically, it is scientifically proven that there's certain words that when women yell in men's ears and they say certain things, it registers as pain. It literally registers as pain. Why do you think so many men commit suicide? Why do you think so many men are messed up in the head? Like, people act like emotional abuse does not exist. And they act like words don't hurt. The very foundation of life is built on words. Me and you can't even communicate without words. Words is the most important source of anything that we use. We can't even communicate without language. So to say that words don't hurt is an incorrect statement. Words actually hurt more than the physical, because if you get hurt in your body, maybe for that moment, it's an intense pain, excruciating pain, but you will one day heal. But if somebody says the wrong thing, like if your mother looks at you and say, you know what, I should have aborted you. I should have never brought you into this world. I hate you. If a mother would tell her child that, you think he's ever going to forget that? Actually, he's going to hate the world, and he's going to hate himself, and he's going to constantly relive the pain of his mother telling him that. You can look into your own life and see many situations where somebody said something that hurt you, whether male or female. And it hurt so bad that you never forgot it. You never forgot that person. You may have fell down and scratched your knee, broke your leg, hurt yourself so many ways physically in this world, but you never forgot what that person said to you. People's words have the ability to keep you in remembrance. They enter your soul. They enter your spirit. We have to watch how we talk to each other. We got to watch what we say to each other. So in that situation, I'm in total agreement with his decision. At the end of the day, would I do it? Most likely not. I've been in situations like that where I just took the L. But I present myself in a way where most people understand they're not going to get away with too much. So they kind of just stop going in that direction after a while. Like, okay, I don't went far enough, and this dude right here is a little bit off. Let me stop talking crazy to him. I wouldn't do it. But if he decided to handle the situation like that, that's on him. He's in a different caliber of finance. He's in a different position. I don't know the relationship between him and his woman, but if he would have clocked her in the face or DDT'd her off the top rope, we would be having a totally different conversation right now. So we're saying that he's wrong for obeying the law. That's basically what we're saying. We're saying he's wrong for a bit. What hyperfeminism feminists are really saying is that he's wrong because it happened to a woman. It finally happened to a woman. It finally happened to a woman what they have been doing to men ever since the conception of creation. Women are always calling the police on men, regardless if they started the situation or not. And men are always quiet about the domestic disputes that are in the home because men are protectors. We protect our home. We're going to protect our women. Even when our women are out of pocket, we still have a protective mechanism toward them. We could go to jail and come back out and still have a protective mind toward the female. The man's mind, and good for them, because if a man didn't have the mind of protecting of women and all men were tyrannical like they try to play it off to be, they would all be wiped off the face of the earth. There would be no creation. The way they try to perpetuate men being aggressive and demons and toxic masculinity, if that was the case, if we really was that way, you wouldn't have laws protecting women. Men enforce laws. Women don't enforce laws. And I'm not trying to, berate women or bring them down, because I got women in my family that I love and I'm going to protect with my life. You understand? I'm just calling a spade a spade. I don't got a problem with my mother. To the so-called black women out there that always want to use that statement, when a man's saying this and he's putting in checks and balances and you're being the head like you're supposed to be and running your family, they say, oh, he must have had a problem with his mother. That's why he act like that. Shame tactic. The reality is, it's in a man to protect women. And thank God for that. Do some people abuse that? Of course they do. When are we going to hold people accountable for the choices that they make in life? Did she not choose that man? We always get past, everything seems to just drop in the men's lap when something goes wrong. But did she not choose that man to be the father of her child? Did she not choose to date him? Did she not choose? Was I there when they were laying in the bed doing what they was doing to create that child? Was that not her choice? Why are we removing responsibility from people as if they didn't make the choices that they made? She chose to be with him. That's the man she chose to be with. We got to respect people's choices. You hear women always downing men about relationships, but these women are the ones choosing the men. You're choosing the men that are destroying your life. You have chosen them. At the end of the day, men has no access to sex with you outside of rape, unless you chose to be with them. They chose to be with these men, and then they flip it around as if like they had nothing to do with the situation. You ain't got to respect men, but by God, why don't you respect your choices? You say you don't want to submit to men, but will you submit to your choices? Well, you at least said, you know what? Maybe if I don't want to submit to this man, maybe I don't date that man. Maybe I won't be in that man's presence. Maybe I won't give my body to this man. How can I put my body in a submissive position and then say I'm not going to submit to the man that I put my body in a submission for? It's crazy. We gotta change the way we think and how we perceive things. Everybody makes choices. Vice versa. If I turn around and I choose a woman, and I lay down with her and something goes terribly wrong, that is my responsibility. I chose to sleep with that woman. Like, how do we get outside of the fact that we're making choices? And for some reason, we want equality, but we don't want equality of outcome. We don't want equality of choices. When the consequences come, everybody wants to, start playing football and pushing them away. But it's like, dude, you made the choice to be with that person. Life doesn't agree with you. For those who think that everybody shouldn't be held accountable for their choices, life doesn't agree with you. That's why people catch AIDS. That's why they catch viruses. And that's why their body gets destroyed, because they have multiple relationships with all these people. Life doesn't agree with you. Life in itself, and you call it karma, life in itself is going to repay that person for what the choices that person is making. And that includes me, and that includes the people listening. So if he calling the police was the best way to de-escalate the situation, then I'm all for it. It's better than, him beating her to a bloody pulp. We got to support that. We got to support, the decisions that people make, because people make the decisions that they're going to make regardless if you agree with them or not. So now that I say, okay, well, you chose that man, I'm wrong for that. I'm wrong for saying she chose that man, that she chose to lay down with him. She chose to bear a seed with him. It wasn't her choice. Was it a rape? Of course it wasn't. He's a superstar. She wanted to be with a superstar. And that's what happens when you want to be with a superstar. Sometimes you don't get the guy that you think he is, because they see the flamboyance, they see the rings, they see the gold, they see the platinum, they see the house, they see the pool, but you don't see the monster. You don't see the integrity of the person that you are around and the person that you're dealing with. Looking at things from a face value point of view. So I'm all about personal responsibility. I'm all about personal responsibility. When somebody says, I'm a grown man, I'm a grown woman, interpretation, you are responsible for your own choices and your own actions. A true man and woman, it supersedes being responsible for their choices. They have to become responsible for the choices of their children. That's what a man and woman is about. A real man and woman is about taking responsibility for your actions. If you do something that's wrong and you constantly live a life as if I'm not going to take responsibility for my actions, then you are still a child. You're still immature. You have a lot of people who are still immature. They're still blaming somebody else for what they did. And they continue to make bad choices. They continue to make bad choices, and they keep looking back and saying, well, it was my parents. Well, how long you been out of your parents' roof? How many relationships have you had since you've been with your parents? It was your duty to re-educate your mind to make better choices in life. It is our duty to re-educate ourselves. That's what education is. Education is the process of learning. You got people who have academic education. That means they go to school and they learn what the teacher is teaching them, or the doctrine of whatever said class they're taking. But when it all boils down to it, the process of learning doesn't stop there. What are you teaching yourself about morality? What are you teaching yourself about? Those schools are not going to teach you about the choices in life. They're not going to give you wisdom about the choices in life. Are we paying attention? Are we looking at having common sense and looking at the situations around us and making better choices? And if I made a mistake over here, why am I making the same mistake over there? We have to re-educate our minds, re-educate our thoughts to make better choices, because why? There's only one thing you and I truly control in this world, and that's our choices. If you didn't get anything out of this video, remember that slogan. We don't control anything in this life, but we control our choices. This is B.O.L.O. Peace Kings, Peace Queens. Hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel, show your love. This is the people's channel. You know what I'm saying? Show your boy some love. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.